Yeah, all the cases are fascinating. They're all very heartbreaking, I've got to say. It wasn't an easy show for us to make in that way.
Just to expand on that, I mean, without giving too much away, is there a specific case study that stayed with you, that touched you?
Yeah, I think it's hard to say because they all did, but I think the way Bible John case was sort of investigated by the police, I found that very disturbing because the way in which they speak about the women was as if they sort of deserved it. You know, they went to the Barrowland for a night out, clubbing like anybody would, and then all of a sudden that's the reason that they were murdered. And the way in which the words were put into the statements, I was just really shocked and appalled at how, you know, that seemed okay in those days. And you know, Jonny always says the history is a different country, and it is. You kind of look back and go, we wouldn't see that now, but back then we did, and it was really shocking.
And Jonny, that's the point, isn't it? We tend to think, you know, that's a great example of history, you know, being really alive. You know, we tend to think these things consigned to the past. And actually, you know, a lot of this true crime stuff is why we're so fascinated, because it could have happened just yesterday.
Absolutely right, Ben. I mean, you know, for argument's sake, one of the first ones we do is the Burke and Hare. They call them the body snatchers in Edinburgh. That was 200 years ago. But it's all the same things we talk about now. You know, immigration is a big part of it. They were Irish. The abolition of the death penalty. Now, he was from Merthyr Tydfil, where I was from. And when I was a young boy, I grew up, and I could remember my uncles and my father talking about him. It's a mining area, you know, all worked in the pits in those days, talking about the British, they'd murdered him, they said. I remember this thing thinking, what is this? And when you delve into it, they hung an innocent man. The Christie was the actual serial killer. He went to court to testify against this bloke who had what they call learning difficulties now. So these things change British history, and I think what I learned from this series, guys, is that eternal vigilance of our judicial system is really important.
Because that wasn't that long ago.
So the death penalty in Britain, people say, oh, it's almost, it feels Dickensian. The Beatles had released Hard Day's Night and they were still hanging people in Britain. It's quite shocking when you sort of realise that, what it was like and how it can change so quickly, you know. And those are the things I think that the audience will be fascinated to find out, that we found out as well on this series.
We're not at the end of that journey. What you touched on there, Vicky, with victim blaming of women, we still get some of that in the legal system, don't we?
Yeah, I'm not saying it's gone away.
Yeah.
I think it's more a case of how severe certain things were and how, you know, things can be very severe now. I think we could, you know, talk all day about how far we've got to go yet with, you know, the way women are treated and how difficult it is. We know that right now it is a priority to keep women safe. And back then, you know, that they didn't, the way that it was investigated, the way that they were portrayed was just appalling. So, I mean, you know, even the Kelso Cochrane case, I found that very shocking. That was a brutally racist attack. You know, where there was so much evidence and yet no one was charged. That's, you know, since created the Notting Hill Carnival, which what I would love is that when people go to that carnival, being the second largest in the world, people know that there's a real story and a real person's sort of, you know, justice behind that I didn't know about. And I've always been a big fan of it. So I think it's just about trying to make sure people are aware as to where these laws came from, how they came about, and, you know, Jonny speaks much better about that than I do.
Just to touch on what Vicky said there, the Kelso Cochrane case, which was a racist murder in Notting Hill, we went into the files. They're still redacted, and they're redacted for another 50 years. So there's people being protected in the system, and they're very open about it. Historians, they go, yeah, there's obviously a problem where somebody in the investigation, very similar to what, you know, Stephen Lawrence case, you know, where there was corruption at certain levels. And we found this quite a lot in a lot of the cases. You know, in the Bible John case in Scotland, the lead investigator, Joe Beattie, he was actually very progressive. He sort of took a lot of information, and it was seen as very odd at the time that he listened to a working class woman and listened to what she said, and other policemen were very suspicious of this. So you really see the attitudes changing quite a lot, really.
You used the word corruption.
Yeah. Who's the perfect person to speak?
You know where this is going.
And Vicky, you're in Belfast for a reason. What is that?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm filming Line of Duty. It's happening. We're a few weeks in, so yeah, the cameras are on. I
know you can't tell us a lot, but how's it going?
It's going really well. Really enjoying it. It's really, I mean, it's 6 years. We worked out the other day, it's 6 years since we last shot, and it's been nearly 15 years since we began.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been a long time, and Martin and Adi and Jed, we're all solid friends. So there's been lots of curries. We love a curry night, and it's been great. I mean, the storyline is unbelievable. It's so
Is it?
line of duty, so twisty turny. Obviously, having Robert Carlyle join the team is major, and working with him is like a dream come true. So yeah.
Cannot wait. I don't want to ask you anymore because I don't want to know anymore. So
You must get line of duty references when you're out together all the time. I'm biting my
Do you
tongue
know
now.
what happened the other day? Me and Martin were walking down the road, and there was like a group of girls, I think they were on a hen do, and some police went into the bar and they just went, "Line of duty." And I was like, oh my God, we're right behind them. If only they knew. And we nearly said something, but we thought we'd leave it.
Nobody believes me, and Vicky would back me up here. I don't want to know the scripts. I don't ask. I watch it with the rest of the country. So I don't know. People go, oh, he must know. Vicky will back me up. I never want to know, Vic, do I? I watch it with the rest of the
Are you able to separate Kate and Vicky?
Yes, well, unless I've had a few pints, then she's very
Yeah, you don't seem too sure.
Yeah, she can get very caked. No, yeah, I mean, it is an amazing phenomenon, and I'm really proud of her. When I first met her, she'd said to me, oh, I've just done this cop show, which was on BBC Two, and almost sort of like, we'll see how it goes, and it turns into this incredible sort of event.